and a TKO, not even a KO. The ref just thought, no, you're getting in hiding. I don't want to let you go anymore. Your nose is bleeding a little bit.
Oh, thank God it worked. It only took like 5 minutes to go live.
But it happened.
Yeah.
It's all about it happening.
اللي معانا على اللايف أكدوا لي بس الصوت تمام ولا لا. إذا الصوت مش شغال والله there's nothing I can do.
Sorry everybody, let's blame the radio. Blame me. Right there. Okay. Good to go. PM2, PM1, GM1.
Right.
Well, we may even get some questions from here. We may even get some questions on the stream.
Yeah, okay. That's nice.
One guy's like, I just came in to see Mishari's accent.
My accent. Ask him, what accent do you want?
انتوا قولوا الاكسنت اللي بتكون يالا مشاري هو بيسويه.
Good evening, Saudi Arabia, and welcome to the Fittest Show in KSA with me, Coach Dre, and helping me tonight behind the scenes, Mr. Abdullah. We're going to be taking through another hour of awesome chat about health and fitness. And it's exciting because I think he's feeling like he's going to eventually set up a bed here and start living in the studio. It is our resident strongman and our all-to-do, know-it-all when it comes to powerlifting. It's Salah. How you doing, sir?
I'm good. It's good to be back.
Let's try that again quickly. How you doing?
I'm good. It's good to be back.
I got you there a little bit. Yeah, it's always great to have you. And the best thing is you always come with someone who's going to just literally, I hope, put that fire into people to want to try powerlifting, hopefully.
Yeah. We've got a big guy here today.
So if you're curious to get involved, if you want to get involved with the conversation, 012-6484-691, 012-647-4100. Give us a call. Maybe you know our guest when you hear who he is. Give a shout out, give a call. If you have any questions to our guests about powerlifting or how to get involved with this. A little quick caveat. I remember I had a kid once ask me, someone told him he shouldn't deadlift. And I'm like, why not? No, because it's going to make me not get tall. It's going to hurt me. I'm like, yeah, but who told you this? Who gave you this bad advice that deadlifting and squatting is bad for you? This is the show that's going to kind of convince you that doing these compound movements is probably going to be the best thing you can do for your health and for your fitness. So stay tuned. Enjoy the music. We'll catch you after this break only on SRFM, the heart of KSA. Because obviously his mom's like, but I heard from someone that it's really bad for you.
I still get these questions daily. I'm 15. I don't want to train because I don't want to, stunt my growth.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. These are compound movements. These are probably better than you doing a bicep curl. Let's be honest with you. There's more value.
Yeah,
There's more value in it. But then I always dig when you have people who do squat and they're like, yo, I'm going to put on, it's 150 kilograms and I'm going to squat. And they're like, eat. Hey, bro, what are you doing? Doing calf raises. What you doing there? What is this? I just de-racked the 150s and I felt the gains.
Yeah, he's doing some knee pops.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing.
Oh my goodness. The ladies just love it when I lift up the 150.
Yeah.
It's so brilliant. I love it. That's the best. I think it's kind of
الناس اللي بيقولوا العربي الإذاعة بالإنجليزي فلازم نتكلم
legit
بالإنجليزي.
moving full range of motion. You are literally pushing your body and it's legit, right? It's the good looking squat compared to the guy who's just like, well, it's my max weight right now. How much do you squat, bro? You know, it's amazing. I love it. And it's cool because before like the popularity on YouTube and like on Instagram of like powerlifters and weightlifters, every bodybuilder thought he was the beast, right? He thought he was the beast, especially in the Smith machine when he thinks like, you know, it's now he's literally going like a beast, right? This is him now.
You guys know I can leg press 300 kilos.
Oh, it's amazing. It's just, I love it. It's awesome. Cool. We'll come back. I'll let the man introduce you.
Nice.
So I'll just bring us back, go straight into him, and then he can introduce you the way he feels best because he knows you better. And then you pop off and say, listen, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is what I bring to the game. You don't have to go on just for too long. So we're going to be talking about it anyway for the next hour or so. And then you say what you feel like you need to say, and then we'll kind of go into like questions about that as well. Because it's the whole idea is we want to create that story around people hearing who you are, wanting to hear more about you, and kind of like, okay, well, let's see who this guy is.
All right, cool.
And find out more.
So I'm going to introduce him now.
Do you want to bring us back?
No, I'll leave that to you.
Do you want to bring us back?
That's not my thing.
Okay.
Maybe next time.
Okay.
Baby steps.
If you wanted to. But it's awesome, man. It's like, last night I had a show because I normally have a guy with me in Nabil, and I didn't prepare, so I came in and I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to wing it. And then my nephew decides to call in. And now I'm talking about like health and fitness now in terms of like being an older guy. And he's like, well, what is your opinion about quadratic equations and the usefulness in life? I'm like, what? I'm like, what? Are you swearing at me? What? Hey, this is live radio. You can't say those things over here. I was like, I don't even know what that is. I was like, I appreciate it. Welcome back. See, I got caught there talking and not concentrating. Busted. But that's what happens when it's live radio. Sometimes it doesn't always go to plan. But yeah, we are super excited to have our resident guru when it comes to all things strong lifting, heavy lifting, power lifting. The man itself, the beast, the legend, the GOAT. Can I say GOAT? People know what I mean when I say GOAT, right?
Yeah. I hope so.
I hope so. Greatest of all time kind of term. Sometimes I tell people, you know, you're a foot, and I mean like you're a legend, right? You're a leg end. But I'm like, oh God, dad jokes, please stop. Yeah, so take it away. Who do we have in the studio tonight?
First of all, you love to embarrass me every time. Okay, alhamdulillah. I appreciate
it's building confidence. It's building confidence.
Yeah,
Come on.
I guess so. So today I thought like, who better to bring to the broadcast than Mashari? Mashari, anyone who knows anything about powerlifting in the kingdom knows Mashari. MashaAllah, he's achieved so much inside and outside the kingdom. And I'll let him tell you guys his story, but it's pretty amazing, especially how he started. It's gonna defy all of the logic which people use to. Oh, I don't want to play powerlifting because it causes injuries. I'll let Mashari show you why that is completely not true.
Okay, cool. Introduce yourself to everyone.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Mashari, a powerlifter in Saudi Arabia. What else can I say?
How long have you been doing it for?
I'm the strongest Saudi.
Come on, you
right now. Yeah.
Come on, that's amazing. That's a great achievement.
Yeah, true.
But now let's put into context, right? So strongest as in what are the lifts that you do and what are the numbers you're currently hitting so people can kind of get perspective a little bit.
All right. I'm primarily a power lifter. So that's just squat, bench press, and deadlift. But I practice other sports, but I mainly power lift, yeah.
So what are your numbers in terms of your three lifts?
Get ready.
Biggest PRs. All right. On the squats, I hit a 340 kilo.
Okay, we'll just leave it.
I told you to prepare.
Silence right there. Casually.
MashaAllah.
I'm a bit humble on the bench. It's just what was it? It's 180 kilos.
Still heavy.
Relatively to
but for most guys, that's gonna be super heavy. Yeah.
And on the squats, 340 kilos on the. On the deadlift. Yeah.
That is unbelievable. Like, I would like you to kind of like, how much do you weigh if you're driving your car right now, wherever you are, and how many times must you multiply yourself to be able to know you've been lifted like that weight? It is exceptional, and you got to realize for a lot of people, hitting 100 on a squat is kind of like a good achievement, right? And it's like, it's unbelievable to put that into perspective. But I'm guessing there's a humble story behind those big numbers, right?
Definitely, yeah.
I think we really need to kind of get into that. So, like, how did you get into powerlifting? How was this the sport that kind of hooked you?
I discovered powerlifting by chance because, I was just a typical teen going to the gym, bodybuild. I want to build big arms, big chest.
Yeah. as
But-
does everyone. Eh?
But at the back of my mind, I always had the idea I want to be stronger. I don't want to just look good.
Yeah.
I never knew what was powerlifting. So one day, because I usually after my workout, I go play a little bit of basketball.
Yeah.
I was playing, 5-on-5 full court. Then one guy came in. I think he was playing in the NFL or something. He went straight for my knee.
Oh no.
Yeah. So my patella came out, and all my tendons were cut. So I think for like 4 to 6 months, my leg was in a cast and I wasn't moving at all. And when you used to like bodybuild or move and everything, and then suddenly boom, 6 months, you're just standing still, not doing anything.
Yeah.
You feel useless. So I started researching ways to help my knee joints to get stronger. That's when I discovered powerlifting.
That is
Yeah.
like that. I tore my ACL, right? And it kind of like puts into perspective how lucky you are prior to the injury.
True.
But it makes you more driven after the injury to get even fitter than what you were before, because you kind of want to get there again. And so your obsession to want to get fit is even greater than before. You're more hungry for it.
Yeah.
And you are also a little more panicky because you're like, I don't want that to happen to my knee again. I want it to be strong enough to prevent that from happening. And most people would think like, okay, but then don't start trying to lift 300 kilograms on your shoulders, for goodness sake. That is incredible. So then how did you kind of like discover powerlifting from that? What research or what took you to think, well, this could be a great way to strengthen my knee?
Yeah, as I said, I've been researching ways to strengthen my joints, my muscles, the muscles around my knee. From that, I discovered something called powerlifting. Back then, there's no one in Saudi Arabia who did any content like strength-wise in the powerlifting sport or anything. Salih was the only one. So it's like, who's this guy? I go into his channel. I see he's pushing big numbers. He had his body weight is relatively low. I'm like, what's this? So I contacted him. I was like, what's this sport? How do you practice it? What kind of lifts do you do? And from there on, everything's history.
He just skyrocketed from there, mashallah.
But if you're 21 still, like, I mean, when was this like? I'm just joking with him, saying like, just ever compare because this man's been doing this for so long.
Yeah, true.
Forever 21. That's what I'm saying. Forever 21.
I wish.
That is awesome. I mean, like, now you've definitely earned the title of GOAT, right? Now you've definitely
He's the Godfather.
He is the Godfather. And he's the Godfather. I love that. This is serious stuff, folks. This is the mafia of heavy lifting, guys. This is incredible. That is awesome. You should like take a bow for that, dude. That's awesome.
True, man.
Can't take a bow on the radio, but okay.
No, but the thing is, like, and we've said this before, and I've said this to you how many times, is it takes a special person to be selfless when it comes to your passion, right? And share that.
True.
And then see the kind of like rewards of other people investing in what you share with them every single day on your content, right? That's amazing.
It's very satisfying and humbling.
How was it when he first contacted you? Especially, he must have been just after the knee, kind of like.
I remember the first time actually we were talking. He had the the KT tape on his knee just to hold his patella in place. Yeah. I'm like, oh my god! And then like next thing I know, he's squatting 180 kilos. And then every time we come in contact, his squat like has jumped like another 20 kilos, 30 kilos, 30 kilos. I'm like, wow, this guy.
It's almost as if you had to go through that. And I'm not gonna hate on the bodybuilders, but it kind of was the best way to get you out of there.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you wouldn't have discovered that sport that just clicks with you, right? And it's the strangest thing. It sometimes happens at the most absurd reasons. Like, why did this happen to me? And then, alhamdulillah, you kind of look back and you're like, it's actually exactly what I needed.
That's true.
That is awesome.
And I love the way he approached it too. He didn't just jump into the weights. Like he asked, how do I do this? I remember the first period, every single time we would meet in the gym or in the other gym, which we used to train at Titans, he'd always do the squat and he would tell me, can you check my form? And I'm looking at him like, I need to be learning from you. MashaAllah, he's like, he naturally squats really well. Like he has the mechanics and like, he's built to squat. So
squats,
yeah. Ass to grass.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like it's that depth that depends on, are the hips moving well? Is the knee moving well? And are the ankles allowing you to get that depth as well sometimes? Yeah.
A little known fact, Mashari is way more flexible than me. So
it's a strange thing because you sometimes wonder like what is the difference. And I was listening actually to Steffi Cohen who boxed last night, and she says that you got to kind of first discover how is your hip socket actually working. Is it keeping you? Are you a front directional person, or are you a bit more outwards with your hip? A lot of people fight that when they squat, but discovering that could be the first way of actually increasing your depth and your weight on your squat.
100%.
Yeah, we're gonna take a short break. When we come back, we're gonna dive into this more. I'm really hoping, you know, moms and dads out there who are thinking about getting their kids into a fitness regime, think about the benefit of adding a bit of compound movement to that. And again, where a few years ago maybe it was difficult to find people who were able to do it like the right way, you are spoiled with choice right now of people who can help your son or daughter get the benefit of these wonderful movements, which are so beneficial. And I mean, the sky's the limit on what they can potentially do with that and how it will benefit the sports they play. So stay tuned. If you are keen to join the conversation, those numbers again quickly: 012-6484-691, 012-6474-100. We'll catch you after this musical break only on SRFM, the heart of KSA. When we come back, if you want to, you can shout out to the YouTube channel and they can pop on there as well if you're keen. You can on the radio. You can just say, "Listen, I'm on live. If you want to come and join my YouTube stream."
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sure. You know what? People are requesting to see you, so I'm gonna put you in frame.
No. Oh gosh.
Yes.
Hi everybody. That's me. Oh, guys, that's very cool to hear someone going through something, and it's obviously not cool what happened to you, right? Yeah. Like it sucks. The injury sucks. I remember I can say PG stuff, right? It's not really a PG thing. It's not bad. So I tore my ACL, right? And I remembered like I was like in the hospital, and so I think it's the second night of me sitting there after my surgery, and the anesthesia has like messed up my bladder, dude. I just can't pee. What happens sometimes you have the anesthesia can affect your bladder. Painful, though. No, but all they do is they tell you can get a catheter, right? And I'm like, no one's taking nothing down my no, bro, nothing.
I don't think that's an option.
So on the second night, right, I'm lying there in bed, and it's probably like early morning. I'm just going like, you know, that feeling of I need to pee, right? It's just I can't. It's just overbearing. And I'm like, listen, no. So I press the button, and I'm like, nurse, please help me, please. She's like, don't worry, we have a wonderful nurse. Nurse Michelle is here, and the nurse will come and help you in a bit. And I'm like, okay, Nurse Michelle. This lady's quite old. It's probably be an old lady. I don't have to worry too much. My man, this massive black dude walks into my
Nurse Michelle.
Yeah, Nurse Michelle with this really cool French accent, and he's like, "Bonjour, I'm going to be doing your catheter for you." Oh, I felt so demasculated. I just lay there going like, "Oh, knee, why do you do this to me?" But it was the best feeling ever. That pee was the best pee of my life. So see, I thought I'd really embarrass myself on live YouTube TV right now, just so you guys know that I'm pretty useless. But anyway, that was my that told me I never want to get injured again. I was like, never again do I ever want to lie in hospital and have to depend on someone else to pee. So, but yeah, no, injuries are bad. Like I had a friend who works for one of these. He goes into the hospital rooms because he sells or he promotes like a product used for leg surgeries, and he says the amount of people who don't train their joints, right, who just collapse straight through because of bad joint strength. It's crazy. It's crazy. Welcome back. Just a quick one. So that you are doing something right now live that people can join. What is it?
Yes.
Yeah, what are we doing right now so people can come and maybe join?
We're actually live on YouTube. If you want to join and you want to see us, we're on my YouTube channel, Dahab Powerlifting. Just type it into YouTube and you'll see us right now.
Brilliant. Come in and join. If you want to ask some questions, that'd be awesome. You know, the idea is we want to create the engagement with the community, right? The idea ultimately has always been to make Saudi Arabia the hub of fitness, right? Like, yeah, we have humble goals. We want to be that leader in the Middle East, which we're slowly moving towards. And I really think people need to start realizing the amount of content coming out of the Middle East, especially from Saudi. The amount of talent coming out of Saudi is definitely going to overtake some of the other countries here in the Middle East. And we're ultimately, inshallah, going to be one of the leading countries in the world once we get everything together. And it's slowly but surely starting to happen, right? Yep. The right people are starting to connect. The right people are getting the exposure they need. Mm-hmm. And it's important that we have someone who is literally the strongest man right now here in the kingdom, telling us about things. But the most amazing thing is, right, there is this energy of just, you're such a nice guy. Like there's just this like super kind energy, right? And it's not like you would expect. You think this guy's like, oh, he's gonna be this mean, tough guy. But yeah, there's that exterior, right? But there's this kind of like modesty and kindness and humbleness, which I think is such a unique trait for someone who has this wonderful achievement. And I think that's a great thing. Like, how has this journey of becoming so strong, right? How do you feel? How's that changed you as a person?
It changed me a lot, honestly. Like knowing my limits, knowing my strengths and everything really calms you, because you have nothing to prove anymore.
I don't think anyone would want to prove anything to you right now. I mean, to be fair.
True. You got a point that. But yeah, you reach a limit, you have nothing to prove. So like some of the anger or anything that's pent up, it's gone. You're just calm. You know your abilities, you know what you can do. So yeah,
that is very, very cool.
100%.
How have you seen him grow since the first time you met him till now?
What I love about how he's grown, he's been this humble guy since the beginning. He was never the arrogant guy to start with. So it's really inspiring, and he just keeps growing, mashallah, except for his bench. But he just keeps growing. I mean, he just keeps getting stronger.
Is there a reason for that though? Is there something that's preventing you from getting bigger numbers?
Honestly, I have no idea, because I've tried different methods in training. None of them clicked yet, but I'm still early in the sport. So
I think he's about to hit some big numbers. He just started with a coach. Shout out to Khalifa
Lifts. Yeah,
Khalifa Lifts. Yeah, he's coaching Mashari right now, and I'm expecting some big numbers.
That is awesome. So now, in terms of now your journey, and this is kind of directed to both of you. So the training method that you've had to implement, especially coming off a serious knee injury, right, would probably be different to if you were coming without any real serious limitation, like a surgery on your knee. How did you approach it as being new into the sport? Like, what kind of research did you do? And as someone assisting him, right, what were some of your approaches to help him gain the confidence and the right technique to not necessarily agitate an already, sore leg?
When it came to his training, he would always just, ask for my advice in terms of programming, which program to use. I remember recommending the Candito 6-week program. He got so much, like he kept repeating that program, and he got so much results from it. I was surprised. And just small technique fixes, like whenever I could see, which was rare in his technique, I would just tell him. But most of the time, he's just naturally good at lifting. He's built to lift, and he's been proving it. And I think now with the guidance of a coach, we're going to see some amazing things.
Amazing. And for you, when you were actually trying to do research, what were you actually looking for?
Like I said, I was just looking to strengthen my knee. That's it. So when I discovered powerlifting and the mechanics, how to squat, how to deadlift, I was so scared of getting the injury back again. Yeah. So I started from the zero. Literally a PVC pipe. I squatted with that. I perfected the technique. I moved up to the weight. I was like the first, I think, month back training legs. I was just squatting just one plate, 135 pounds, 60 kilos, until I perfected the technique, and I slowly built it up.
It takes a lot of confidence to put weight again on that knee, right? Like, it's a scary thought, because not just are you worried about the injury, you worried about, my muscle's going to be very tight around the leg, right? Because depending on what kind of brace you had on, some surgeons say, listen, you walk right out of surgery after a knee op. Some want you to wear the degree braces. They want you to literally have this like suit around your entire leg for how long, and that can create a lot of like anxiety and actually now having to put weight.
The mental barrier is the toughest one to break.
But now, if you compare you probably squatted prior to the knee going, right, as a bodybuilder compared to
the Smith.
Like, so if you had to think about the way you squatted before and the way you squat now, why do you think people are still utilizing that? I get the aesthetic reason of kind of having the focus on the quads or getting the certain lifts that the bodybuilder guys do. I'm not a bodybuilder myself, so I might be doing them injustice. But if you now realize in terms of pure strength, right? Like, do you think there is benefit if you're going for aesthetic to be squatting the way you're squatting and to be doing the things you do in terms of your technique?
100%. Yeah. Because the deeper your squat, the more muscle fibers you're recruiting. Like most bodybuilders, not all of them, just squat to 90 because that's just what they need. Like they can benefit more from squatting deeper, but it's not a necessity, so they don't do it. But some of them do. So,
and this is kind of like maybe where the question goes to a younger athlete, right? Is that's the thing I don't think a lot of parents sometimes hear from the naysayers when it comes to lifting heavy, right? Is this muscle recruitment thought pattern.
Yeah.
We're trying to create a movement that's going to recruit as many muscles as possible in a single movement than just simply doing something like, your half squat or something like that. Here's a movement that's getting the knee joint to move through as much range of motion, the hip joint to move through as much range of motion, the ankle to move. And you're recruiting muscles all along that kinetic chain that's going to help benefit you ultimately, right? And I think that's where the message of where you guys come into play is to make moms and dads realize, but this could actually really benefit my son or my daughter, to create that muscle awareness, to create that strong kinetic chain, to help develop that natural movement pattern, because kids squat beautifully.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're so upright and they're so comfortable at the bottom and they're so like confident to do it. We seem to get nervous the older we get.
This is why we need to start putting these kind of equipment in schools. We need to start teaching kids from high school to squat properly, to deadlift, to bench, to do all these movements. Because all of these kids, they graduate school scared of squats. Oh, I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to hurt my knee. My coach told me it's bad for your knees. It's bad for your back. So we have to break this norm as soon as possible because we have a lot of potential.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to take a short break. We come back, delve in deeper into the story that is the man, the strongest man. Are you our mountain, right?
Yeah.
Come on. Cool. We're going to come back. We're actually talking about the fight last night. If you watched the boxing last night, if you have any opinion, let me hear about this. I'd love to know what you guys think. Should we organize a fight between our mountains right now? Who knows? Awesome. So yeah, guys, let us take a short break. Have a musical break. Wherever you are, if you're traveling, please drive safe. Let us keep you entertained. Maybe take your foot off the gas a little bit. Take a little bit longer to get there. Enjoy the rest of the show. And hopefully you'll learn something. And maybe you won't even go home. You'll just go to your local gym and start lifting heavy. We'll catch you after this amazing musical break only on SRFM, the heart of KSA. I'm actually surprised anyone here has yet decided to do like a little bit of an exhibition fight.
We're getting there.
I reckon
give it time.
And it'll be massive, right? Because here, like, viewership is huge when it comes to YouTube.
YouTube, I think we're in the top in the world when it comes to viewership.
Crazy. The numbers here are like...
I get surprised sometimes when I see the numbers.
Yeah, YouTube is number one here, with Twitter as well as a big user group. TikTok is growing, I think. In terms of global users, TikTok is crushing YouTube.
100%, yeah.
So... because it's much easier snippets of information, and you can get so much lost.
That's why YouTube added shorts now.
Yeah,
it's trying to compete with them.
It's crazy, but like, I think it's so important because you guys are creating. I mean, this man, you clearly are influencing, right? You've created that ripple effect, and from that is what's great about it is you've created an environment that's making people take that further step. The idea is it's very difficult for a person to make. It's difficult for someone to make people better than they are because a lot of people get intimidated by that because they want to be the one that leads, right?
Sure.
But being a good leader is being able to empower other people to be better.
Yeah.
Great people hire people that are better than them. Same principle is a great person teaches people to be greater than they are because then you're a teacher, right? You're not just someone who's influencing people, you're teaching people.
True.
And that's like, I mean, I still can't believe that's how you got into this. That's amazing.
I think people don't realize, the people who do want to be the best don't realize how good it feels to help someone become better. It's
true, right?
It's indescribable.
It's a mindset of life isn't limited. It's unlimited, right? Instead of seeing life as a pie and there's only a certain amount for each of us, it's a river.
Yeah.
And everyone can put their cup in.
True.
And you can have as much as you want because it's ever flowing. And like, when you pass and when you leave this mortal coil, there's going to be someone else who's going to come after you. So you don't have to worry. There's always going to be enough. It's kind of push. That's awesome. I'd like, when we get back, let's like go to like any memorable moments that kind of stick out to you in your career that kind of made you realize, I made the right decision.
Okay.
Because it's clearly like there seems to be almost like a very kind of like, mystical thing. Like, well, I found inner peace through being, through lifting, which is great, which is a very kind of like personal journey, right? But also there are some moments of me being like, you know what, I've done the right thing, right? All that time squatting and taking chances and like pushing myself. This is the highlight, and I want to go for even more. So I mean, being just stronger in Saudi, come on, be the strongest in the world, for goodness sake. You know, it's having all those things, having those kind of goals and stuff. Like, it'd be cool for people to hear what is that expectation for you, because then people are like, okay, cool, this is something worth showing, worth following. Because it'd be nice to have, if by some chance someone who's in a position to support that dream, to say, listen, I want to help you get there. Because it would be awesome. Like we spoke about this before, it'd be amazing to have a powerlifting gym that is powerlifting focused, that is trying to develop a Saudi movement towards
I'm kind of working on that. Yeah.
That's sick, dude. Like, I wish you all the strength and power and blessing for that, because we need people to stop looking at it from a commercial point of view and from a development point of view. Because I guarantee you, there are some kids who are sitting in schools who don't do any physical activity, who probably would crush being a powerlifter or a weightlifter or a strongman.
Yeah.
I mean, strongmen. Oh, do we have any strongmen in the country?
No.
That's another dimension
We
to
don't
look
have the
into.
facilities for that.
But it's strange, because what do you really need? You need granite, round, atlas stones. You need a bit of, you need sleds.
It's funny because strongman is way bigger than powerlifting. I would have thought there would be more. We need
a strongest man to come and do a strongest man in Saudi.
This guy has done strongman and weightlifting, by the way.
That's awesome.
I mean,
that's awesome. Are you a high bar or a low bar guy?
Low bar. I squat high bar, but I'm stronger on the low bar. Yeah.
But even your low bar is not that low, though. It's like
it's like a hybrid.
Yeah, like a hybrid.
The hybrid seems to be becoming more popular nowadays, because you still want to have that nice upright posture, but you don't either want to be losing the benefit of getting a bit more shoulder and back into there.
Because when you squat low bar, you can get as deep.
It's harder to get that head depth. Yeah.
But it's how having a strongest man here in Saudi would be brilliant for promoting strongman. Like the world's strongest man. Having that here would be brilliant. And I'm sure there's a way in which the Ministry of Tourism, whatever, could get that by those rights. I mean, we have the Grand Prix, for goodness sake.
I think they're going to do it, because the powerlifting committee, I think under it's the arm wrestling and strongman.
Strongman is also under us?
Yeah.
With us, I mean?
With us, yeah.
All under the bodybuilding federation.
No. We
separated from the bodybuilding?
Separated from the bodybuilding,
Okay, so
yeah. I think they made a Ministry of Strength, I think. I can't remember the name. Under its arm wrestling, powerlifting, and strongman.
Awesome.
So hopefully soon we'll see.
That'd be sick, because then you'd have an opportunity to do some cool stuff, right?
I mean, I might give it a shot. I mean,
strongman is cool, man. That is
like a lot of fun.
That is amazing, and literally, there's so much popularity. Everyone knows the mountain. Everyone knows Eddie Hall now. It's like it's getting there. Welcome back. Like, when one thing's about strongman, when you think about bodybuilding, we think about, Joe Atlas, the original guy that kind of gave us this image of strength. If you ever remember back in there, depending on how old you are, I'm obviously also just 21. There is this, in every single comic book back in the day, right? There was a guy called Joe Atlas. He was like the pinnacle for every young boy. He could tear a phone book in half, right? That was like his feat of strength. And he had this persona of just giving confidence and oozing confidence and knowing his limits. I'm quoting someone right now. And with that, knowing your ability comes calm and peace. I think we're going to have the Zen of powerlifting coming out soon here. Our guest is going to write the way of finding inner peace with a bar on your back in, very low squat position, kind of finding that like meditation pose. But I think it's important to kind of realize that strength doesn't create anger. It doesn't create resentment. It doesn't create ego if done correctly. It actually kind of makes you realize, wow, I'm capable of doing this. I wonder if others can. But you know what? I think others can. Because look where I started. I didn't think I was going to be able to squat again with my knee. And now look at me. I am the strongest man in Saudi. And the best thing, the vibe I get, right, is that you believe someone else could be stronger than you.
100%.
And you want to be that guy. It's like, you know what? Listen, here's the first step that I've taken. I followed in the steps of greatness as well. That, you know, Salah's done such amazing things. Who's going to join us along for this journey? And let's see how far we can push that Saudi limit in terms of strength, right?
For sure.
I think that's an important thing. And it's, you know, I put you on the spot a lot and I give you a hard time, but it's because you have this aura of just greatness around you, right? And you seem to just don't even realize that you have that pull. And it's important to realize that, you know, this guy, if you didn't have someone like you to look up to, and then someone's gonna look up to him, there's this beautiful journey, and it's done because of love for the sport, right? And that's an important thing. Like, at what point, it's gonna sound like a very strange question, a creepy one. When did you fall in love with powerlifting? Like, what was that moment when you clicked, like, this is my thing?
I think that was during my first competition.
Cool.
Because I've been powerlifting, I think 6 months prior,
Mhm.
and I usually train at Fitness Time. They used to have a yearly powerlifting competition.
I mean, quote unquote powerlifting.
Quote unquote, yeah.
Yeah. So I was just training. Saleh, he saw me how good I was progressing. He was like, "Why don't you go compete?" I'm like, "No, I'm not really into competitions," because prior to the competition, I never had the fires for competing, you know. So Saleh was like, "Yeah, compete, just try it, have fun." I was like, "Yeah, why not?" So I entered. Just the adrenaline rush from competing and people cheering you on, the sensation, man,
Amazing.
Unbelievable.
So what other highlights do you have from your career that really kind of make you realize that you've put your time and effort in the right sport? What moments that kind of stick out to you besides your first competition that make you realize, you know what, I've really picked the right sport for me?
Honestly, when I started competing outside Saudi Arabia, because I was just in Saudi, I was comparing my strength locally. So I didn't know how strong I was or what's my limit until I went and competed in other Gulf countries. So the first time I competed in Kuwait outside of Saudi, the feeling you get nervous. You're not in your country. You're alone. But the powerlifting community anywhere, honestly, the people are so welcoming.
Amazing.
So that is one of the things that really made me love the sport even more. Because a guy, he's competing with me. He's my competitor. We're fighting for a position. He's helping me. He chalked me up. He helped me with my singlet. You want ammonia? You want a snack? Anything?
Amazing. That's a special environment, a special community that does that, right? For you as well, now being Mr. Godfather, you know, like, what are some of the things that you feel make him stand out to maybe other athletes that you've seen in the sport?
What makes Mashari stand out is he's consistently putting the work in. He never stops pushing the limits. I still don't know where his limits are. MashaAllah, he just keeps pushing them. And I have no idea where he's going to go. If he keeps this up, he's going to be contending versus the heavyweights of the world.
Inshallah.
So
amazing.
That definitely sets him apart. Other people are not as confident in their abilities like Mashari. Mashari knows, like, right now he's at a point where, yes, I know I'm strong. I know I'm capable. I'm going to push it to whatever limit there is. I'm going to push any limit people put on me. So that makes him special.
How do you think others can kind of overcome that kind of like insecurity?
Start lifting. It's that simple. When I started lifting, I had zero confidence, zero self-esteem, zero everything. All that comes when you start lifting. When you start seeing these results, it becomes addictive. It becomes like you can't get away. Even days when it's supposed to be rest days, like I'm itching, like, when do I get to go back to the gym?
Same for you as well.
So that's once you get that bug, you can't leave it.
That's amazing. I think there's a plausible and easy way to kind of bring this into the environment that is the schools, right? There's definitely a way to introduce this. It just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of planning, speaking to the right people. And clearly we have two of the right people to speak to right now. You know, if you are in the Ministry of Sport, if you're in the Ministry of Education, if you're thinking about how do we create this sporting culture, here are two guys that can really help you to create strong athletes, confident athletes, kind of helping them realize that, you know what, these are opportunities to build a great foundation for any sport. Any sport will benefit from a good, those 3 lifts will benefit everybody, especially the squat and the deadlift. They're so beneficial
'Cause,
on
yeah.
so many levels.
Because you build a foundation, and from there you can go to whatever sport you want.
Yeah. It's important, right?
Yeah.
So like, let's consider now, have you gone back onto the court again for basketball?
Yeah.
And how do you
Every other week, yeah.
And how do you feel like prior to the injury and now being, the power you've created, right? Like in your body, like how do you feel your game has changed?
Oh, I'm a powerhouse now.
No one's charging for you anymore, right?
Not at all, yeah.
That is amazing. But I'm curious about the basketball fascination. Like, has it always been something you've loved, the game?
Yeah, because when I was younger, I actually used to play for Al-Ittihad club basketball team. Yeah. From middle school to high school, but I got an injury there as well. Yeah, on my ankle, so I was a bit afraid to come back 100%.
Yeah.
So I got older. I stopped playing. Then I went to the gym and implemented more basketball. But yeah, since I was young, I was always active.
Do you think there's maybe I'm just sorry, my mind it's just like going over the place. Do you think it could be, for example, like these clubs that have basketball clubs and they've got football teams and they've got all these different like sports underneath them? Do you think they could also be a great promoter of having powerlifting teams?
Definitely, that would supplement their sports so well. If you look at pro basketball players, football players, if you look at what they do in the gym, they basically squat, they lift. So if you start teaching people that this is how you're supposed to train, and not just let your kids just play for half an hour and hope they'll get better, you'll see some real results.
It'd be cool to think you've got this, this Etihad powerlifting team is going to go compete against the best in Saudi, right? There's a strength behind the familiarity about the team name that people who don't necessarily know powerlifting be like, oh, I'm curious what
they know the club,
Know the club, right? And it creates that clout that maybe starts getting people, I'm curious what they're doing, right? And then also what happens is then the kids who are involved start to they kind of meet new people from different sports. Like, oh, I didn't know what powerlifting was. What is that? Well, we squat, we deadlift, and we bench press. And it can really help you with your shooting game or your defending game, or like you could be benefits. It's like a kind of like a wonderful kind of symbiosis there, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, I'm just throwing these things out there. If there are wiser people out there who might be able to make that work, but I think this is kind of maybe where we start thinking about these things. If you have the ability, and I beg you, if you have the means to make this a reality, if you have the means to get more kids and more people into gyms and doing fitness, if you have the means to give amazing guys and the girls out there doing amazing things in fitness exposure, please don't just sit back and say, oh, someone else can do it. Make yourself available. If it's your time, your money, your expertise, just make yourself available. Invest in these amazing individuals because they're going to definitely give so much back to the country and the country will benefit from it. That's ultimately why this is so important, right? And it's so important for you to get that exposure. So please, if you are able to reach out to these amazing guys and see how you can work with them to get powerlifting on just a different level here in Saudi. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll delve into a little bit more about how maybe from our experts, how you can take some simple tips that they've used every single day to make you a power lifter. And not just the sport, but in general, a power lifter. So we'll catch you after this amazing musical break only on SRFM, the heart of KSA. I just kind of like throw out those little bits of bait and hoping someone just listens.
Yeah.
Just hoping someone like connects or just reaches out, because that's the thing is there's people with so much means. They just need the right project, right? And having guys like you get more exposure could be that exact means to create not just for them some opportunity, but for everyone opportunity. So
for the whole community.
Sick, man. That'd be awesome. It's kind of like it's one of the big things when I thought I want to do this for the sake of how could I give as much exposure to as many people as possible. And it's difficult because at some point you kind of think to yourself like, okay, great. Are people hearing it, right? Because what metric do I use to measure the impact of the show, right? All I can hope is that people come on here and they get that bug of, okay, great, I want to start talking more about what I do. Because clearly you have an amazing story. And I'm very lucky, mashallah, I'm very lucky that the guys and girls that I've had on here, they have such a wonderful story, but they're also great at telling their story, right? Like, dude, like, it's true. Like, you have this aura of like, yo, bro, don't mess with this guy, right? And then it's like, wow, who is this guy? Like, he sounds amazing, right? And it's cool because that creates a wonderful story. People like characters, right? You're a character.
Yeah.
You know? Like, we all want to be an anime character at some point, right? We want to be that standout character.
Ask him what
right?
his character is. He already has a character.
You have a character already?
I have a character.
Yeah, he's the panda.
I've been nicknamed the panda.
Yeah.
So what is your look though? Like, I mean, you have a very unique look, right? What is the look that you're going for?
Like, I'm not going for any look.
Well, you have a very unique look.
Yeah,
right?
You know
I
what,
get it. But
You know what when I see when I look at him? You watch Cartoon Network, right?
yeah.
You know Samurai Jack?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
What
the
about
kind.
the mustache?
Like Samurai Jack with a beard.
I could see him like be like an anime character, right? Like this powerhouse dude. Like, there's like a team, right? And you're like this powerhouse guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
I dig it. It's one of those amazing things, right? I was always thinking about, like, there's a reason why kids and people gravitate towards like a comic book team, right? Because we all want to be someone in that team. You either want to be the Hulk, or you want to be Captain America, you want to be Hawkeye, but we all kind of relate to their something,
Someone,
right?
yeah.
And it's an important because there's something maybe at some point where the reason why you want to be the strong guy was because at some point someone made you feel weak. Someone made you feel inferior. Someone made you feel less than what you're capable of.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know what? Stuff this. I'm going to channel that and I'm going to show you how strong I can be. And I won't be a negative guy. I'll be the guy that saves people with that thing that you made me feel I didn't have, right? And it's a big thing, right? It's important for, there's a lot of kids that I see who are sidelined because of differences that could make them stand out and be even better.
Yeah.
And sometimes finding a fitness opportunity is that way to kind of become a bit more, especially here.
Yeah, true.
Yep.
I mean, I'm a PE teacher. I just want kids to move. It's like the big thing. Just move.
It's getting there, which is hard.
Welcome back. You know, it's a humbling experience being in a room with guys who are achieving things and doing things driven by passion, right? Like, the carrot isn't a payday. The carrot isn't fame. The carrot isn't even recognition. It's just, I absolutely love waking up, going to the gym, loading that bar with plates, and seeing what this God-given gift is that I have in this body that I've been blessed with, right? Yeah. I mean, when last have you at home woken up and said, you know what, I'm going to see what I can do with this body today. I'm going to really see what I am capable of doing. Some of us never really ever push that limit. So, like, in terms of getting people out there to move, right? What are some of the tips that you would suggest they should take, even if it's just to kind of incorporate powerlifting into their training? What are some of the tips that you feel are crucial that they should start implementing, like, right away?
Just start moving in general, because once you start moving your body, you're gonna gradually gravitate towards wanting to build something, like building muscle, building strength, increasing your mobility, endurance. So just start small. Anything. Start walking, do push-ups at home. Anything that will give you the fire to want to pursue either powerlifting or any other sport.
For you?
I would say try to learn the basics, as in technique, learn to lift properly, and just try to progressively get better at it from session to session. You're just going to fall in love with it. Once you see that, okay, so I squatted an empty bar today, that's fine. I did it correctly. Maybe next time I'll add 2.5 pounds. Then that time after that, I'll add 5 pounds, see where I can go from there. But just learn the main techniques, and that'll take you way more than you think. Instead of trying to try these weird guru Instagram influencer tricks. Oh, this 5 ways to get a bigger butt. No, don't stay away from those. Learn the techniques, and you'll get really, really far.
So now, how do we kind of break the mold of people wanting to load weight and getting to focus on technique, but I mean, you both are saying it quite often, this idea of mobility, right? How do we get mobility to be a cool thing to do, right? How do we incorporate that as something that is vital, but is something that can be enjoyable as well?
That's a tough question.
You know, you can just tell them that if you do work on your mobility and you train, you're going to avoid injury. So if you show them that having the proper mobility is going to protect you from injury, more people are going to be into it. So it's just showing them that I got stronger because I have the mobility and because I lift correctly.
Is it like does mobility become like the cough syrup you need to drink to get healthy, right? Like you don't want to drink it, but you got to get that kind of bit of the bitter stuff. It's the bitter thing that you have to do, right?
Yeah, because you don't want to hit your 30s or 40s and you can't even bend down and take something from the table. Yeah,
true. Because I mean,
so even on the long term, it's gonna help you a lot. Yeah, not just in powerlifting.
Speaking of that, I think people should start to learn that there's a difference between mobility and flexibility. Like, okay, anyone can, let's say, touch their toes, but that doesn't mean you have the mobility to squat. Squatting alone, learning to squat properly with an empty bar, that alone is going to increase your mobility because you're going to teach your body to move in that certain pattern. So mobility, being flexible enough is, sure, it's good to be healthy, but to be an athlete, you need to have that mobility. You need to be able to move. You need to be able to have control weight in that range of motion. So that is the trick. It's
a tricky one because a lot of people don't realize is that flexibility is purely a physiological thing, right? Yeah. The more you reach for your toe, eventually the muscle will lengthen and you'll be able to touch your toe, right? It doesn't mean there's any benefit for your muscle to be lengthened in that way for you in any other activity, right? Whereas mobility, we're saying, okay, great. So your knee can move to this entire range of motion. Your hip can move this way. Are we able to combine those two movements to give you a good squat? But now, but your shoulders are collapsing forward. Clearly, there's a bit of lack there. Let's get you into that perfect position. It's amazing how like the origami of the body, right? Like you're able to move in these incredible positions that we kind of lose as we get older. We lose that suppleness. Yeah. And clearly some of us just live with it forever and just able to move into amazing squats no matter what. Like I it's amazing, mashallah. But like, we clearly need to start making this a priority, especially at a younger age, where the weight isn't as important as the movement is, right? So when moms and dads are getting nervous, they're probably getting nervous because you got that coach who's like, oh, come on, just slap on a few weights on the bar. It's not going to do any harm. Whereas he's not even getting a good range of motion, and you're starting to develop those bad positions that later on are going to give him issues. So is that maybe good advice for parents when it comes to getting their kids to lift? Is maybe just focusing more on the mobility and that kind of practice?
100%. Like, teach them to Mashari, treat your kids like an injured athlete. Teach them to do the basic movements with nothing but a broomstick, a PVC pipe, whatever. Once they learn how to do the move properly, you can slowly progress. You don't have to just smack some weights on a bar and tell them to lift it. They're going to hurt themselves. Anyone would hurt themselves, whether they're a kid or older, when they start. So start with the basics. Just if your kid, naturally a kid will be able to squat with a PVC pipe. If they can't, then you can work on that, and they learn so fast. I have a client who's 15 and he's already pulling and pushing a lot of weight. So it's good to see.
It's amazing. It's great that there are actually world standards for different ages as well. So if you go online, you can see what is the standard for a 14-year-old or 15-year-old to be lifting in powerlifting. So clearly there's enough being done research-wise and study-wise to know these are numbers that kids can hit, and they're protected by an entire organization that promotes this is good for your age. Yeah, I think it's very, very important.
You have 8- and 9-year-old powerlifters now competing. I mean, it's crazy.
It's great, right?
It's amazing.
So so the biggest thing right now is obviously we want people to try and connect and follow you and that kind of stuff. So how can people reach you?
You can reach me through my Instagram, YouTube channel. And
give us a shout out. What are they?
My Instagram is Mishari 313. That's MISHARY 313. And all my social media links are the same.
Oh, brilliant. So people can just, if they kind of follow it there, they can obviously find the rest as well.
I've got a link tree in my Instagram bio with everything there.
Brilliant. I'll save everyone some time. All you need to do is type powerlifting KSA and his name will show up.
Excellent. And again, just remind everyone, they should have you now on, like, they should be following you, but now
they better be. They better be. Or else I'm going to come lift them. You can find me on all social media platforms at Dahab Powerlifting. Just type in Dahab, DAHAB Powerlifting, and you should find me.
Brilliant. Oh, again, you both you have an open door policy here. If you ever want to be on, please, this is our little space right now. So if you guys ever want to be on again, please, it's so important. You know, I really hope that for some of you out there who are still trying to build that confidence and thinking, what could be a good fit for me in terms of my training? Try powerlifting. Our experts have told you the best thing to do is just start moving. Give it a go. You'll be very surprised, and reach out to them. They're both very willing to help you on that journey. You know, you could be sitting here one day and saying how I met them They gave me advice, and now look at me. I'm lifting great numbers, and look at the success I've had. Let's keep that pay it forward idea moving. Let's get that snowball rolling. It doesn't snow in Saudi, so that sandball rolling. I don't know how you want to even call it, but let's get it going, and let's discover the talents that hide right here in the kingdom through these incredible guys who are willing to do everything to help you. They're the reason why I can tell you now, I've got that feeling in my bones. We're going to be the fittest country in the world, inshallah. Let's hope and push for it. From my side, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, you two, for joining. It was amazing having you.
Pleasure.
And again, the silent but most important man in the room, Mr. Abdullah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for helping me. Have a great evening. Enjoy the rest of the shows coming up. Enjoy the music. If you're traveling anywhere, get there safe and let us entertain you. And you'll only catch us in one place. And that is SRFM, the heart of KSA. I'll catch you soon. Bye. Bye. Awesome, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. My 3 people that come and listen to what I do.
أنا شيء واحد تعلمته أنتوا ما بتستاهلوا أفتح لكم الكومنتس والله العظيم. والله العظيم ناس قليلة أدب. والله ناس قليلة أدب. مشكلة مش عارف كيف طفي الكومنتس.
Guys, seriously, if you know someone, if you know people, connect these guys and let's get them into the mainstream even more, dude. Let's get these guys famous. Let them become global superstars. Let's get Saudi's name out everywhere.
Inshallah.
I mean, look at these guys. They're like perfect, like poster boys for it. Like, come on. Personality, voice, charisma, everything. So I think it's sick, guys. I really hope more people will like just buy into it and give you guys the opportunities. Like, seriously.
Inshallah, I think the opportunities are showing up more and more nowadays. I'm noticing.
Yeah, but like you just need that one guy to say, listen,
bye guys.
Whatever you need, here I'm opening up my life to you to make you have it happen.